Hello and welcome to UK Versus. Welcome to all Wardens and Champions, all Thieves and Packbounds. Welcome to another Critical Role reveal. Universes reached out to multiple content creators, gave us all a symbol, and dropped us some new reveals for those symbols. And they were going to see what Richard's favourite symbol was, just to spite me and not give us chaos, but they thought that might be a little bit mean and actually gave us chaos. So thank you, UVS. We're really appreciative of this. And next time, I'm sure Richard would love to help you and not have me show any chaos cards.
It would have been void. It's always going to be void. I love the void symbol. So yeah, obviously, yeah. Thanks so much to UVS Games for letting us show off some cards to you all. Obviously, this is coming out soon, so I think the official release date is March the 7th for obviously this new set, Critical Role Heroes of Exandria. But the pre-releases, I believe, start on the 28th of February, and obviously go on throughout that week. So obviously, do check in with your local game store or wherever you play pre-releases and sign up. There are some early sign-up bonuses for some extra UGN points if you go and sign up early. So yeah, sign up to those pre-releases, go check it out. There's, a really cool, I think, pre-release promo you get in your kits and a chance to open up those cool new Critical Role cards, which I have a bit better understanding of now. I think I'm 5 episodes into the podcast, so I'm getting there.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's, the first episodes are not the best audio-wise, but they're still very good content-wise. And yeah, as Richard said, do check out play.uvs games. And go check out UGN, go find your local stores for the Star Finder, or go find your local pre-release using the Event Finder, and go get hold of these cards a week early through pre-release. So, as I said, we got hold of Chaos, and there are 8 other content creators that have got the 8 other symbols that are going to be in Critical Role Heroes of Exandria, and we're going to take a look in this video at the commons that are going to be coming into the set for Chaos. We have 7 commons here. Let's start off with Magic Boost. A 1 diff, 5 control, 1 low block action, spell, Chaos attuned, enhance. This attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage. The first thing I can say for this is I miss Azor. I'm going to miss Azor so much with this.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't. Oh no, you can't even do it in retro. It was banned in retro.
It was banned in retro first.
Azor's
dead. Outside the Spotlight.
There's. Oh yeah, I guess you could play it in MHA Spotlight, but you can't obviously play this action.
Yeah.
Anywho's, I mean, it's solid. Like, it does a roll, right? Just a bit of stat boost from your hand. It's got a nice 1 low block. And there are plenty of characters and abilities in this set that either work around actions or working around spells. This obviously has the spell keyword. So a little bit of a role player here, like nothing too crazy powerful, but there's definitely moves you can do with stuff like this. And it's a fairly low cost to put this in your deck in terms of, like, it's a 1 diff. It's got that 1 low block. So, there's not too much going on here, but like +2/+2 is quite nice as a thing from hand.
As Caleb, as Jester 1, I'd happily pitch a 1 diff foundation or commit a foundation to pick this up to go, this attack's going to hit you now.
There's definitely moves you can do with this. Obviously, it doesn't clear the card pool, so you ideally have ways of doing that. But yeah, +2/+2 is a nice little stat boost. It might find its way into some of these sort of spell as a sort of, maybe as a 1 or 2 of just as an option to have, or sort of the action-based decks, again, just as like an option to have, whether that's something like our character reveal, whose name escapes me, the Dunamancer. Yes. Yeah, 6 Thalers, that's the one. He might want some copies of this just to put some extra stats on something, So just a little kind of unassuming stat boost on hand with a nice little low block on it.
A cheeky little bit of stat boost that E6 can then go, I'm going to remove this from a discard in your turn and make you recheck. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Then we move on to the new Magic Assault. This is a Scanlan short halt card, it appears. 4 diff, 3 control, 4 mid for 3 damage, 2 low block yet again. Spell, Blitz mill 1. If you mill the card with a check value of 4 or greater, your rival spends momentum, and this attack gains throw. This is a solid common.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing you'll notice, and I've just some of the cards I looked at, there's definitely more momentum hate coming in this set, and I think that's something the format has been crying out for, quite frankly, as more sort of anti-momentum stuff. And this is a little unassuming common, but again, it's sort of momentum hate, especially if you can find some way of like stacking a deck, right? Of just making sure that check is going to be a 4, and therefore, it's only 3 damage, so giving it throw isn't hugely impactful. But if you've got, again, any ways of putting damage on, or this is just like the nicest little poke, your opponent poked you, it's like, okay, I'll poke you back, I'll mill 1, I'll clear that momentum you made, I'll get a few damage off this, get my momentum, and then build out. So, again, might not necessarily find too many homes, but anytime it's something on it says discard an opponent's momentum, it always is something for consideration, right? So...
Yeah. Being able to discard momentum as well as gaining throw is very good. It is a bit of it's not like instant shadow flash. You do have to mill a 4, and it's not like it's a check a 4, so you can pass it. You have to literally mill 1, so it's very RNG based.
There's no way of stacking that 4, is there? Because so unless you've got somewhere stacking the top 2 cards of your deck, then you've got no way of guaranteeing that 4. But I mean, the randomness of that might put you off a little bit when it comes to constructed power level, but might be okay, especially if you can, like I say, put damage on it anyway. But a little unassuming common that'll be really solid, like when you're playing sealed deck at your pre-release.
Then we have Electric One Blast. This is a great card showcasing Scanlan's power with a floating grog within a bubble. 4 diff, 3 control, 3 high, 4 damage, 2 mid block, flash. This means that you skip this attack's enhanced step with a response. After this attack is blocked, your rival commits 1 foundation. So pseudo stun.
Yeah, solid. Like there's obviously some decks and some stuff like strategies that want just as many flash attacks as they can get, right? Again, this is solid. It's like an off zone. If they block it, then you get to commit them 1 down. Obviously, one thing that all of these have got going on is like the spell keywords. There's plenty of things that are going to work with that spell keyword. Flash attacks can be sort of hit and miss, but if you've got ways of obviously bumping that up at response speed, looking at characters like a Sam Rutherford, for example, from the previous set, the Star Trek Lower Decks, obviously he sort of is quite good with doing stuff with Flash, and then. Again, if you've got any other ways of sort of manipulating the stats on this, but again, it's just sort of a fairly unassuming common, but it's nice to see Flash sort of coming back a bit.
We've still got Gentle Criminal in the format, who would absolutely love this as well, because you commit 1 if you block it, and it's coming with X speed from blocking the last one. It's a nice little cheeky common. Then we have the card that I am so glad is in the set. This is such a good reference. And I think 5 episodes in, you might have experienced this spell in its true name. We have Crotch Ligtening, a.k.a. Richard Lightning, which is one of Scanlan's most powerful spells early on. I call it Richard Lightning because I don't want to get in trouble for saying the actual name.
Yep, I get you.
5 diff, 3 control, 3 low for 5, plus 2 high block. With Blitz, if you have an action or spell in your card pool, this attack gains stun 2. The question I have is, Blitz is after it's been played, so it counts itself, right?
I think that's missing the word another. I'm going to assume it's missing the word another. Otherwise, that's...
It should just say this attack and spell 2. Is it stun 2? Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to assume that the word another is missing, and we'll just kind of...
So retconning it saying it should have another. This is a great Godzilla City Rampage card, because you go City Rampage, you go this, you go stun 2.
Yeah, you can play the City Rampage to gain the stun 2 without worrying about the progressive. Obviously, in a normal kind of setup, you're effectively having to play this on a 6 unless you've got other ways of checking,
But more than 7 unless you've got a form action, because you need to play
Well, you could play a spell attack right into this, so you're playing this on a 6 to gain the stun 2.
I was more thinking of the action side of stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. So, or you could have a form action, like a whatever the ones are, like a maximum hardening.
Or you could just go with something that like attack into magic boost, and then go into Crotch Lightning on a 7, and go now it's got stun 2.
Yeah.
Very cool. It does make me miss Dark Shadow Ruin, just saying actions don't count towards progressive, but
I always miss Dark Shadow Ruin and Tokiyami, my beloved. But yeah, again, another unassuming common, right? It's like it's an off zone. It being a 5, like this might have been better if this was like a 4 diff, say a 3 low for 4 to gain than the stun 2. But it being like a 5 diff, you effectively have to play second to really get anything going.
I guess it depends on what other actions we see, and if there are actions that don't count towards progressive, or if there's form actions, or if there's other actions that can kind of combo with this to make it justified for that 5. Because a 3 low 5 stun 2 consistently is probably worthy of a 5 diff on a common.
It's okay. Again, I don't think it's going to be a constructive player realistically, but again, it's going to be solid and limited, right? And when it comes to making your sealed deck, your pre-releases is going to be a solid card. Like again, it's offside, it's 5 damage against stun 2, going to be fine, because like having a spell in your card pool to trigger this is going to be fairly trivial, I think, in Exandria Limited. Again, we're going to assume it has the word another in there.
So now we have one that's, I believe, has already been revealed, but it's a Caleb card. This is the Silver Wire Magic Alarm card, which they use to get used on doorways and other things to make sure if anyone's coming into checking on. 2 diff, 5 control, 3 low block, spell, response, flip. After the combat phase begins, the arrival's first attack this turn gets -4 speed. This is a risky one for me, because what if your opponent just didn't draw anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's powerful, right? So flip from -4 speed is definitely above rate in terms of usually like a flip cost like that might be a -3 or -2. So like, you look at something like a fast friendship, that's flip for -2, -3. Again, it's only a 1 diff, but so like the rate of return for a flip from -4 speed is really nice. But yeah, they might have it, but it might put them off, and it might say, "Oh, well, I'm not going to attack." Then it's like, "Well, great, I've just flipped a foundation to say you skip your turn attacking. That's worth it for me."
Yeah.
Or maybe they weren't to anyway, and that's fine. You're not to know, so that's why you have to pay off that a little bit. So you're paying above rate for a little bit less flexibility, but it's really nice.
There's one downside to this, and it's very meta relevant, and that's determined advance.
Yes.
Not being able to reduce that speed below 6 means that you don't get to do it.
Yeah, obviously into a determined advanced deck, this is not quite blank, but mostly blank if they ever lean on determined. Like again, in normal gameplay, outside of determined advance, I think this is going to be very solid. What does he play? I don't know. It could do. Like again, flip for -4 speed is a really, really good rate. You're just paying you're getting a bit of rate in return for flexibility. So like, I don't think this is necessarily a 4 in a deck, but like I could see playing a couple of sort of a bit of speed hate defensive abilities. Like sometimes all you need to do for, is maybe block once or twice on a turn to then crack back. So this just says I can basically always block your first attack.
Then we have Inspiring Song. So this is another Scanlan card offering inspiration through songs, stories, limericks. Sam Riegel's done a great job throughout the last 10 years, coming up with new and inspiring ways to give inspiration, hideous laughter, all the kind of stuff that he's done for his characters.
Yeah, the last one I remember him doing was to the tune of I Saw the Sign by Ace of Base. So, I think he picks his bardic inspiration from a lot of different sources. But yeah, so this is a 1/6 with the keyword spell, a 3 mid block, enhance flip, mill 3, choose a player. That player's next check gets +1 or -1. Nice.
Yeah.
Like it's a modestish effect, but it's a 1/6 spam, so it sort of has to be.
I think this can find a comfortable home in Dabby 3.
Yeah. And I think just anything that's trying to string this, just saying I get +1 to my next check.
Yeah.
But then it also can come in handy on defense because it's effectively a flip breaker 1, because it doesn't say failing this check doesn't end the combat phase, right?
No.
So if they, if you give their next check -1 and they fail it, that ends. So especially if if you've got like 2 or 3 of these in stage, you're like, okay, I'll flip all 3. Your next check gets -3.
Exactly. These are one of the things that you go, I don't need this to pass my next check. I have enough foundations, but you are tapped out. I need this to go through. Flip. Your next one gets -1. This attack is going to hit unless you check like an 8.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it could be, a -1 on your turn in terms of giving a pseudo flip for -1 for +1 speed. Obviously, flip for +1 speed isn't an amazing rate, but sometimes that extra +1 can be enough. You can massage your checks. It can mess with your opponent's checks. So again, it's a sort of that +-1 is a minorish effect, but there's a lot of flexibility within use of that. And at baseline, it's a 1/6 with a not a great block, but it's a 3 mid block. Again, it's got the spell keyword, which may be relevant. We've got characters that like to sort of unflip stuff all the time. Milling stuff could be helpful. So there's a lot going on. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a card that sees play. Like,
if you compare this with some of the new Earth Warden cards, which their entire goal is to unflip stuff, you can have a lot of fun just basically going, your next check's getting -X, my next check's getting 1 all the time, and you can set up a pseudo long string. Then we'll end with the new hosted spellbook, another Caleb Wittegast card, and we can see Frumpkin, the cat on his shoulders there. 1 diff, 4 control, 3 mid block. Enhance. This spell attack gets +1 damage for each copy of hosted spellbook in your stage. Flip this card. It's a common. It's fine for a common. I think in sealed, I like this a lot more because you don't have a copy limit.
Yeah, so you really want to be in a, say, 6 booster sealed. You might open 3 if you're lucky.
In draft, you could get a good 5 or 6.
Oh, yeah, you could draft a load of these, right? But like, it's got that 4, and it feels like the effect isn't powerful enough to justify the 4. So I'm a bit like, because it's limited to spell attacks. So you can't just chuck it on any old thing. Obviously, it counts itself for the +1. So flip for +1 damage ain't good. If you've got 2, flip for +2 damage is okay. Flipping for +3 is good. So you're sort of the rate on flipping for +3 is where you're happy. Flipping for +2 is like, that's okay. I don't really necessarily want to play a 4 check for a flip for +2.
The main issue is
+1 is not good enough.
The main issue is you're only getting +4 once. If you have all 4 down, you get +4, you flip, then you get 3, then you get 2, then you get 1.
And that's if you manage to get all 4 in your stage, right?
Obviously, these are no duplas.
Yeah, you can have some unflip shenanigans. Obviously, it is only a 1 diff, so you're not expecting crazy amounts out of it. But I don't think this is necessarily going to be good enough. The sort of sweet spot is that 2 to 3 range. Anything, realistically, 4 isn't going to happen. 2, you can probably manage. 3, maybe sometimes. But like, this is a card if you're going to play, you have to go all in and play all 4. So yeah, again, it's going to be fine in limited and sealed, especially if you can get multiples. But yeah, in constructed, I don't see it. Again, like flip for +2 is okay. I'm not excited about it. Flip for +3 is really nice. So that's sort of where that inflection point is on this one.
But yeah, if I was playing modified draft, if I see this, I'm picking it up because if I can get 4, 5, 6 of these in a 40 card deck, then I'm just going to be able to pop off for some damage.
Yeah.
So these are the Chaos commons for Critical Role Heroes of Exandria. There's more to come, I'm sure, but these are just some more we wanted to highlight. And for me, I think Crotch Ligtening is my takeaway. That cool 2 stun. If it gets errated to being other, then it kind of drops a little bit. But at the minute, just having a 5 diff 3 low for 5 that says stun 2 seems very powerful with the way that Krista and Godzilla would be able to play it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the standouts amongst these ones, and sort of in terms of thinking about possible constructed playability, like Inspiring Song, I think is really solid and might be deceptively better than it looks. And then the flip for -4 speed, I think could be good as like a 1 or 2 of, like the Magic Alarm. Because again, flip for -4 speed is a really good rate. So it's just, unless you're playing against a Determined Advance, in which case it looks a bit silly, but
you're not always going to be playing against Determined Advance.
What's that?
You're not always going to be playing against Determined Advance.
Exactly. So I think those ones are the ones, to me, that are more interesting, and that tends to be the case with commons. Like, common attacks tend to be more limited oriented, whereas a lot of the common foundations tend to be more often find a home in constructed, just because there's obviously more space in the deck for foundations generally. So, but those ones look interesting. But yeah, again, these are all obviously very thematic. They all sort of work in people's kits. So yeah, it'd be really good to see sort of how they fit in with the rest of the landscape of Heroes of Exandria.
Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments below which one you are most excited for, what Chaos cards you were looking to see, and are you excited that they've incorporated cards such as Crotch Ligtening, which was what I was worried wasn't going to get incorporated because it's not exactly the most PG friendly, but is a staple of Scanlan's early kit. And do come back tomorrow where we'll be looking at the uncommons, and there's some very spicy stuff among there as well.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah, go sign up for your pre-releases, and obviously go check out all the other content creators for all their reveals, which you can probably check out through the various social media channels. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe to be kept up to date with all our latest videos. Catch you all in a bit. Bye.
Bye.